Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Entertainment with Buford and Francis. Today I'll be cosplaying as Buford Vanstom from Phineas and Ferb, and I'll be telling a story called A Goofy Movie. Enjoy the video. It is the last day of school before summer vacation for Goofy's teenage son Max, who has a plan to shed his goof label and impress his crush, Roxanne, especially after waking up from a dream-turned-nightmare involving Max mutating into Goofy, terrifying her right away when she was just about to kiss him. Max and his two friends, PJ and Bobby, hijack the auditorium stage in the middle of Principal Mazur's speech, creating a small concert where Max performs while costumed as Powerline, a famous pop superstar. The performance succeeds in making Max a school celebrity as planned, but Mazur puts it to an abrupt halt, and they are sent to his office to be punished. While waiting outside Mazur's office, Roxanne talks to Max, and they both agree to go together to a party that Roxanne's friend and Study Body president Stacy is holding to watch Powerline's latest concert on pay-per-view. Unknown to Max, Mazur calls Goofy while at work. His job is a department store children's photographer with Pete, but in his enraged and overreactive state regarding Max's actions in the auditorium to rebuild his public image with the student body, he reports Max's actions as just as gang member. Your son caused the entire student body to break into a rigorous frenzy, believing Mazur's warning that Max is exhibiting behavior that will lead him to a life of criminality ending in the electric chair. Goofy decides to reestablish his relationship with his son, which has drifted apart over the years. Goofy decides to take Max on a fishing trip to Lake Destiny in Idaho, on the same route he and his father took years before. Max tries to dissuade Goofy out of it, but is shoved into the family car, a yellow AMC Pacer wagon, and the trip begins, but not before Max visits Roxanne at her house to tell her the news. When she disappointingly mentions possibly finding someone else to go with to the party, Max quickly creates a lie, claiming he and Goofy are going to the Powerline concert in Los Angeles and will be on stage with Powerline. Roxanne, though initially dubious, falls for it. Goofy and Max head out into their uneasy road trip, but it is not incredibly fun as Goofy hoped. The trip starts out on a bad foot, to say the least. While Goofy tries to bond with Max, Max is sullen. Goofy later makes a stop at a rundown theme park called Lester's Possum Park, which Goofy had gone to as a boy. While there, they were also on out-of-date country folk jamboree of animatronic possums, parodying the Country Bear Jamboree, which malfunctioned halfway through the show. Afterward, Max is humiliated by having an opossum leap down his pants and then being dragged into a country dance by Goofy. Max attempts to hitchhike back home, which upsets Goofy, as he thought that he and Max were simply having fun, but Max is enraged to be dragged into what he calls some stupid rat show. The next day, they unexpectedly run into Pete and PJ, who arrive in their high-tech RV and are chased by Bigfoot during a fishing practice session involving Goofy's perfect cast technique. Trapped in their car by Bigfoot, who has the car keys, Max and Goofy spend the night in the car. While Goofy is asleep, Max changes the road map destination from Idaho to Los Angeles. The next morning, Goofy pronounces Max as an official navigator of the trip while they stop at a roadside diner, unaware of the change in direction. The two go places where Max or Goofy likes, and the two rebuild their relationship and have fun. However, while staying at a motel called the Neptune Inn, where they meet up with Pete and PJ again, Goofy is told by Pete that he overheard a conversation between Max and PJ about how Max changed the map, so he and Goofy are not heading straight to Idaho, but to Los Angeles instead. At first, Goofy thought Pete was lying, but after checking the map and realizing Pete was right, Goofy felt stunned and disillusioned. Goofy and Max later approach a highway junction where the left road goes to Los Angeles and the right to Idaho, hoping that Max will prove faithful in choosing to go to Lake Destiny and not LA. Goofy gives Max the final say on which way to go to the junction. In a panic, Max picks left to Los Angeles. Knowing that Max did not choose the route to Idaho, shattering whatever faith he had left in Max, Goofy becomes angry, stops the car at the viewpoint of the Grand Canyon, and storms off in anger to think things through. However, he forgets to put the brakes on, which causes the car to go onto the road when Max, in his own anger at Goofy's refusal to listen, leans against it after kicking a tire in frustration. As they pursue the car down the road, eventually landing on the Colorado River on the car, they get into a heated argument. Max is clued into his dad discovering the switched map, while Goofy explains that Mazur called him and Max stated he's not a kid anymore and wants his own life. The argument concludes with Goofy saying that he just wanted to be part of Max's life as he grew, and Max explaining why he wanted to go to the Powerline concert in the first place. Finally understanding Max's problems, Goofy then tells Max he'll take him to Los Angeles, but they suddenly find that they're approaching a waterfall. The car twists around in the water as Goofy and Max try to swim against the waterfall current, and Goofy falls off the car, and Max goes toward the waterfall on the car. Goofy finds the fishing rod and gets near Max, jumping on some rocks. Max tries to grab the fishing pole but misses. The car crashes into a rock and turns around, and Max gets involved in a tarp. Goofy uses the perfect cast to catch the car just before it falls from the waterfall. As Goofy tries to reel it in, the car's weight pushes him to the waterfall, but he grabs hold of a rock. A scared Max sees the bottom of the waterfall as Goofy is released from the rock. The car falls, but the tarp turns into a parachute and saves Max's life. Max grabs the fishing rod and saves Goofy, but the handle splits from the rod and Goofy falls. Fortunately, Max saves him using the perfect cast. Max and Goofy reconcile and both believe that this was a crazy vacation. Goofy and Max arrive in Los Angeles on the night of the concert, but are accidentally separated when Max is distracted staring at Powerline's background dancers' bottoms as they walk past him. Goofy is pushed into the device Powerline used to enter the stage and flies out onto it as Powerline is performing a song, Eye to Eye. As convinced by Max, Goofy does the perfect cast technique in a freestyle version as a dance style. Everybody's impressed by it, including Powerline, who then also performs it as well, integrating it into his performance. Max is chased by a security guard up onto the stage's lights, but Max crashes down onto the stage between Goofy and Powerline, much to their surprise. The three break into dance with everyone cheering for them. Roxanne, Stacy, PJ, Pete, Bobby, and others watch the concert from various televisions, surprised by their performances. Soon enough, Powerline, the Goofs, and Powerline's backup dancers and singers finish Eye to Eye to a standing ovation from a roaring, cheering audience in the stadium. A few days later, Goofy and Max pull up outside Roxanne's house in the car, which was recovered and almost repaired, but is still in pretty bad shape. With Goofy's pep talk, Max reveals to Roxanne that he lied to her about mostly everything, but she instantly forgives him, revealing herself she has liked him for a long time, ever since he first laughed at the classic "Oh yuck," which he was embarrassed about before. They make a deal to not lie anymore, sealing it with a kiss. Goofy's car blows up due to the damage it sustained in the waterfall. He flies through the air, crashing through the roof of Roxanne's house, where Max introduces him to her.